Our Athlete of the Week awards are presented by our great friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming. And we've got a shared honor this week. And one of the girls' winners is Taylor Nokes. She was the number one single state champion last week at state tennis from Kelly Walsh High School. Taylor, congratulations on that. Take me back to last week. In fact, the day we're talking, it's a week ago today. And take me through that championship match because the nominating coach said it was one of the most thrilling three-set matches he's ever seen. How would you describe winning the title? And we'll talk about the match in depth, but tell me how did it feel to win state tennis?
It was absolutely crazy. Like the moment that I won, I just I couldn't believe it, and I kind of just stopped for a second, and my whole team ran onto the court, and it was absolutely surreal to reach that goal that I've been wanting to reach for so long.
How would you compare that to winning a doubles title, which obviously you got somebody else to kind of lean on and work with at the same time?
Yeah, so doubles, the definitely the attention it gets is a lot less. Um, it's still very cool, but it doesn't mean as much because you're not the best in the state. But um, it definitely was a lot harder too, a lot more challenging. My match was very challenging. So, um, and mentally, it was definitely singles is a lot harder than doubles just because, like you said, you don't have that person to lean on or try to get you hyped up. You kind of have to just do it yourself. Thankfully, I had a lot of people cheering me on, and I'm very thankful for them.
What was that transition like for you this year, going from doubles to singles?
Um, Basically after last year, I just started playing singles. I wasn't really practicing doubles. I'd have private lessons with my dad, and it wasn't doubles. It was strictly singles. So it was fairly like easy to transition. I was just playing singles instead because I knew that that's the spot that I wanted.
Well, take me back to the match. You said it was challenging. What made it so challenging and kind of describe the ups and downs? I think you dropped the first set and then came back and won the last two. So take me through that if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, so Ashley's an amazing player, and she is very athletic, so she just gets everything back. And so it's hard to hit winners on her because she also rushes the net a lot. So she likes to hit winners at the net, and I have never really played anyone like that. Not a lot of people play like that in Wyoming. So the first time I played her, I lost, and I had to kind of have a new game plan after that. But yeah, after I lost the first set, I honestly thought that I was going to lose the whole match. I was not very confident. And then during the second set, I lost the first game, and then I was all mad and upset at myself. But I was like, okay, Taylor, just stop complaining and go out and try harder. So then I won the next four games, and then I won that set 6-2. And I was like, okay, now I got it. I was very excited after that and all amped up on adrenaline.
Well, it sounds like everything came together very nicely. And again, congratulations. I got to ask real quick, and I know we might talk about this again, but what's it like for you to win a title like 35 years after your dad won it and for the different rival across town?
Um, yeah, so it's actually been exactly 30 years since my dad won.
Wow.
And we didn't really notice that stat until after I won. We're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But it's definitely very cool. People keep talking to me about it, and I'm like, yeah, we both won. And then yeah, that conversation always brings up, but I won at K Dub and we're better. So the rivalry is definitely still there.
Little bragging rights over dad now, huh? Because
Yeah,
of the rivalry. So, all right, well, that's cool. Well, congratulations to you on winning a state championship. That sounded awesome last Wednesday in Gillette, and then congrats on sharing Athlete of the Week award.
thank you so much.
One of our Wyopreps Athlete of the Week award winners, as they're presented by our great friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, is the number one boys single state champion. Won the title for the second straight year last week. It's Andrew Locke from Cheyenne South. And first of all, congratulations on another title. And thanks for taking a few minutes to chat with me. Take me back to state tennis because you guys got pushed back a few days, which maybe wasn't ideal from a mindset perspective. But how did you handle kind of the bump back for a few days, Andrew?
I kind of wanted to have state that week because if there was rain, I wanted to play indoors because I never have, and I thought it would have been a little more fun instead of on the regular hard court. But I kind of just treated it as like every other tournament I've played in.
Talk a little bit about what worked so well for you to come away with another boys number one singles title. Take me through kind of your matches and what your mindset was and what you thought worked well that led you to another title.
The first one was keeping my nerves down. I get nervous whenever I play matches. Not just like I don't throw up or anything, but like I feel like I can't feel my knees sometimes when I get nervous. So I had to keep that under control first, and then sticking to the game plan was probably the biggest thing that I had to keep to winning the state title. And I felt like I followed it through pretty good.
Obviously, you gave up, I think, 11 total games over the course of the 4 matches. What has made you so successful from your perspective?
I would say many things, like definitely coaching. I have a lot of great coaches that get me to this point. And then I would say another one is playing the tournaments and then playing like people outside of high school tennis would probably be the biggest thing. I play a lot with my brother, my older brother, who plays college tennis, and he beats up on me most of the time. But going out and practicing with him, since he's a better player than I am, definitely helps me work on my things I'm struggling on in the game. And it feels like it helps me enforce whenever I play people of any kind, not just Brendan, who's hitting the ball bigger.
Well, Brendan was a great player in his own right, but you've kind of stepped out of his shadow a little bit. Talk about what does it mean to be a 2-time state champ in another year this year in 2023?
I feel like it means that I've stayed level-headed. Not just, I have worried about games, like especially the Jackson final. I was down 3 set points. I was really struggling there, but I kind of just kept myself level-headed, which helped me bring that game back in to keep it just 2 sets instead of the third. But I would say level-headed is just the biggest part.
How do you describe your game on the court? Like if you could take yourself out of your body and watch yourself, how would you describe how you play?
I would say that my game almost kind of fluid. I wouldn't say that my game is going to look different depending on what point's being played. I like to play the same point every time, or at least from my perspective, even though I'm getting a different opponent every time. But I would just say fluid, as if I got the game plan, that's where I'm going. I might change it up, maybe not serve and volley, maybe just stand the baseline, but I would say fluid.
Well, again, congratulations on a second consecutive state championship at boys number one singles. That's never easy to do. Best of luck in your future, and hopefully we'll be talking soon.
Thank you.
Our Wyopreps Athlete of the Week honors are presented by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming, and we've got shared honors on both the girls and boys side this week. And one of our girls honorees is a senior from Lyman High School. She's a volleyball player visiting with Hailey Eldredge, who had a heck of a match last Thursday. Take me back to on the road. I know it's not easy to go on the road, especially in that 3A Southwest squad. What was it like to get that big win at Pinedale last week for you and the team?
It was a pretty good game. They're a pretty tough team. They you have to play good. And I think we just everything came into line, and we were passing good and the sets were good. And it just set up our offense to make us where we could actually get kills, and it's pretty fun.
Well, speaking of kills, 27 in a match for a high school player. You don't see that a lot in the state. What was working well in the offense for you and the connection with your setter?
I think that me and her just I think the flow was just going pretty good, and we were just able to get everything just going, and it just worked out pretty good.
So, was it something that Coach Hansen saw in the Pinedale defense, or was it just, as you mentioned, just kind of the natural flow of the match?
I think it was just the flow of the match. I think we were just working pretty well together, and it worked out pretty good, and we just were able to get our offense working pretty good against them.
For folks that might be watching this, Hailey ended up with a 4.38 hitting percentage. So to have 27 kills and that type of hitting percentage is almost unheard of. What's working well for you in this senior season? How would you describe how you're playing it, and what's working well for you this year?
I think our team's energy is really helping because like when we have like a good energy on the team, it just like helps lift you up too. So like it'll help you play better when you have a better team's energy too. And so it's nice to like just get like it's fun when they're happy and like the energy is up. So then it just makes the game go way better and like you do a lot better things than when you're like down. So
Lyman's volleyball program has been very successful the last several years. How do you describe being part of a program with that type of a winning culture?
I think for me it's like it's actually pretty fun because then we're more competitive and we want to win. So we try like our best like every time and we have the hustle. And so it's so fun.
Yeah. How do you describe playing for Coach Hansen?
Oh, she's pretty fun. I like her because like when you do something wrong, she'll help you like fix it. And she just like every practice, it's not like because like we'll win games, but then at practice, she's like, you can still get better. So we work on things. So it's pretty fun.
I know the next day after the big win at Pinedale, you had a tough loss against your Bridger Valley rival there in Mountview. How do you describe that match where you still had 17 more kills, so 44 in 2 days?
Yeah, they're a pretty tough team. We just like our offense and our passing, we just like had many errors and we just if we minimize those errors, like we can I think it'll be a good game.
How competitive is 3A this year, Hailey?
It's pretty close. Like I think like all the teams are pretty good this year, so it'll be pretty fun.
Well, thank you for taking time to chat with me and congratulations on sharing our Athlete of the Week honor.
All right, thank you.
Our Wyopreps Athlete of the Week awards are presented by our great friends at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Wyoming. And one of the shared recipients this week on the boys' side is Sheridan senior Dane Steel. Simply fantastic game you had last Friday night in Cheyenne. 358 all-purpose yards together between rushing, receiving. I think we even threw in a couple passes that you tossed, and then obviously a kickoff return for a touchdown. How would you describe the type of game you played last Friday, Dane?
I would first of all describe it as fun. I mean, there's nothing more fun than that. It was a good game for sure and a lot of fun, but it definitely couldn't have happened without everybody. And so regardless of the stats and everything like that, all 11 guys on the field was a super fun game.
Well, especially that is evident on the kickoff return. You guys are right there. That seemed to kind of swing the tide towards your guys' favor, gave you a little bit of a buffer. Describe what you saw on the kickoff return because it does take 10 guys in front of you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, their kicker, he'd been kicking some out of the back of the end zone and stuff, so we weren't always getting returns. So we were lined up on the goal line, and I had to catch it above my head because we were trying to get a return. We didn't want to touch back. So I caught it, stemmed it out to the left, and then broke it back going towards the middle because we were doing a middle return. Cody had a good blocker, other returner, and then I cut it back out to the left, made a move on the kicker, and then ran up the left sideline. So,
well, that was a big one for you guys. Big win for that for the team. How would you describe what it means to you guys in the whole scheme of things?
Yeah, I mean it's a good job. I mean, we did a pretty good job putting we had to take pressure off of ourselves because now, I mean, we just got to keep winning our own games and stuff. Our sophomore year, or my sophomore year, we lost a game and then it ended up going into a tiebreaker. So then we're relying on somebody to lose, somebody else to win, stuff like that. So one of the biggest things is that we just put ourselves in a pretty good spot. We don't have to rely on anyone to win or lose any games. We just have to take care of our own business. And then, I mean, it helps our coaches out. They don't have to try and figure out what's going to happen here, what's going to happen here. We just got to keep winning our own games, and we should be in a good spot.
They put you in the Wildcat. Talk a little bit about kind of taking that role over from what a buddy of yours did the last couple of years in Colson Coon. What's that like for you?
I mean, it's super fun. That's one of the more fun things that we do. I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the more fun things that we do. And yeah, for sure, Colson was really good at it. Everybody knows that he was really good at it. So, I mean, trying to do what he did, it's fun to go back there and kind of see what he did. It's not normal. It's not like taking normal handoff and stuff. You get an extra blocker with you when you're the quarterback and you're running. So then you got 10 blockers. So I don't know. I mean, our coaches have good schemes in it for sure. And it's just fun to go back there and run behind 10 guys.
Yeah. Is it a lot different? Because you're more of a slot guy. I know you've been known for returning the ball last couple of years. Obviously, you play a lot on defense as well. But how different is it to kind of be in that spot versus what you normally are on offense?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to do a better job of thinking quickly. I mean, you got like a defensive end coming up the field right now versus you catch the ball in open field, you might have to make a safety miss or a corner miss. So I mean, you got to catch it, you got to make a move and get downhill. That's one thing that Mario stresses a lot is getting downhill instead of being a wide receiver and running away from guys and trying to make guys miss. You got to get downfield, get 3, 4, 5 yards, and see what we can get there.
Well, hey, congratulations on a great game and on sharing Athlete of the Week honors. Thank you for your time and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.